Since he's out and about on the map, he's forcing Zero to use his mutas defensively rather than, you know, to attack and harass his mineral lines. I mean, as you saw there, the hiders on the ramp aren't done yet. They need to become lurkers actually ASAPly, and looks like the lurker eggs are morphing on the ramp, blocking these medic marine. Zero or 5 Hero rather might even have a chance to just scan this and kill the lurkers as soon as they pop, but the mutas are going to abuse this cliff to protect those lurkers, and it will be quite difficult for 5 Hero to do this. If he tries to stay there and kill the lurkers as they pop, the mutas can actually suicide in and tank a bunch of hits, and then the lurkers will burrow and kill everything. And yeah, it looks like actually a bunch of links coming in from the back. So Zero does manage to clean up this forest. 5 Hero not too happy about that. That was actually quite good defense by Zero there. He actually took barely any losses and destroyed the first medic marine group from someone who's going +1 4x. That is quite huge. And it looks like we're gonna have another engagement here. There's no medics with these marines though. I can't believe there's no medics. Oh man, 5 Hero just running out with pure marines here. He's playing this like vanilla StarCraft. Just who cares about medics? Just go for it. Anyway, looks like gonna rally with some medics there finally, and the observer was pointing at something. I don't know if he was why he was circling that ground. I guess saying would have been cool if Zero had some lurkers there, perhaps to block reinforcements. So, oh no, this is terrible move by Zero. Zero sending in 5 lurkers, but they all got bunched up, and 5 Hero doing a decent spread against them, manages to take out 3 lurkers for free there. Wow, Zero going from doing a spectacular defense into making a pretty big blunder there. I mean, 3 lurkers doesn't seem like the end of the world, but at this early point in the game, that's actually quite a big deal. That's really going to limit what he can do with the rest of this. I mean, look at this. Okay, looks like he's bringing up 3 more lurkers. 1-1, by the way, was finished there for the medic marine against no upgrades just yet for Zero. Actually, does he even have an evolution chamber? I think I saw one. I saw the edge of one barely in his main base. He should have one getting +1 carapace by now. And it looks like a bunch of lurkers now morphing, or rather burrowing at the north side. I do believe 5 Hero saw that, and either way he does have the science vessel now, so he's not gonna, you know, lose to any kind of silly hold lurker trick. Anyways, the Mutalisks are flying around still. They have to be very careful about the irradiate. I think the Korean commentator actually just was talking about that. And, you know, Zero's just trying to buy time with these lurkers. It's interesting that he's burrowing along the north path. I don't understand why 5 Hero just doesn't go along the south. And it looks like that's exactly what he's doing. He's going to ignore those lurkers, which aren't... They're kind of blocking the shortest path to the top left. But see, 5 Hero can just go towards the natural now. He's got to be a little bit careful, though, not to get flanked by those lurkers. Defilement, by the way, was going up in the main base of Zero. So 5 Hero really wants to make something happen before then. And it looks like Zero is going in with the lurkers. A nice pullback by 5 Hero. And the Mutaflog is irradiated. Zero not pulling the Muta out in time. Kind of spreading, but oh my god. It's not the best split in the world from Zero there. Kind of pulling it out and putting it back into the group. So, really, really weakening those mutas for a bit. And, you know, even though at this point in the game, the mutas aren't quite as effective, you know, they can't do as much harassment and stuff, and they have to be careful because of the irradiate, they still have, you know, a decent HP, and are pretty good for just tanking for the rest of the Zerg army. So, you know, they still have their, still have a role that they can play. So getting them all softened up like that was definitely a severe blow. Anyway, it looks like we have a bit of a mech switch for 5 Hero. Just going to start mass pumping these vultures with spider mines. Start laying mines all over the place, of course, very effective against a lurker Ling Defiler. Looks like a couple of lurkers going to get irradiated here on the retreat. And I do think Zero has bought enough time by this point. I'm pretty sure Defilers will be out in time before he's in any kind of trouble, but it looks like he might be going for a counterattack here. Unfortunately for him, 5 Hero is going to see this and take down some units here. 5 Hero does have to be careful, though. It's quite a lot of lurkers, but it looks like Zero is going to retreat, while 5 Hero takes a third base at the 1230-ish location. Looks like some random mutas flying around. And actually, now that I think about it, these mutas, with all these vultures and mines about, are actually going to be quite useful because, you know, lurkers and lings don't do anything against spider mines except just die. I mean, that's how you clear mines, you just suicide lings. But the mutas can actually kill them without getting blown up, so that's pretty good. Anyway, oh, looks like a Dark Swarm barely in time. Actually, one lurker only survived, but it is going to get irradiated. Second Dark Swarm, though, is going to allow him to pick off one of the siege tanks. And, oh wait, why is he not attacking with those? Oh man, the third base is completely undefended! Oh, Zero's not paying attention, he can just go kill all the SUVs, or at least just force it to lift. Oh, Zero, what are you doing? Oh, but it looks like he's going to get us around with the Lurkers. The Lurkers are borrowed a little bit too short, though. Oh, no, Zero. Zero borrowed them a little bit too far back. It looks like he might get the siege tanks, but could have definitely borrowed, you know, a couple of hexes to the left there. And wow, his Lurkers are not even borrowing now. I don't know what's going on. But finally, the Mutas are going in to that 1230 base. And they are going to force Firebat Hero to lift. I mean, it's possible he might have been thinking about saving them. Oh, look at this. Retreating through Lurker is not the best idea. I'm wondering if perhaps he left them over the cliff thinking that he would later on go for a Greater Spire and get some Guardians there. But, I mean, the base was completely undefended, so he might as well just have gotten in. And look at this. He's actually going into the main base and continuing to do some harassment here. It looks like he only has like 3 or 4 mutas left. So it's not going to be the deadliest harassment ever, but definitely going to be annoying and does give him a good look at what is inside Firebat Hero's base. He sees all the factories going up, so he knows what Firebat Hero's plan is. There was the Wounded Star's bench, by the way. And anyway, it looks like we have, wow, Zero actually taking 2 bases in quick succession, taking the 630-ish base that's already finished, and he's also taking the natural to the top left. That is usually the Zerg's 4th base, but Zero's already taken his 4th there. As you can see, it is, although I think that was scouted by an SEV, but Zero can just position some lurkers and whatnot to defend it. Anyways, looks like all the barracks have now lifted to go scouting, and we do have the full-on mech switch from Firebat Hero, just going to start mass pumping siege tanks and vultures and Goliaths, and start upgrading those as well. His medic marine probably just going to stop at their 1-1. Looks like, oh, nice irradiate on that defiler. Although the Dark Swarms do still go down. Currently 153 supply for Firebat Hero against 114 from Zero, so pretty nice supply lead there for FBH. Oh, looks like Dark Swarm does go down in time. Some Scourge coming in, get the vessel! Oh, not quite. So, looks like we have a 4th command center now floating down to the 3 o'clock. Sorry, and you can also see all the barracks are just spreading out all over the map. Just gonna go scout around a bit. It's gonna be quite helpful. There's not gonna be a lot of anti-air running around to take those down. And it looks like we have another attack here at the 630-ish position. The fighter gets irradiated, but once again does get the Dark Swarm down. And I mean, this is kind of the the characteristic late game TVZ. Defiler's getting irradiated, but throwing down last-second Dark Swarms that allow the Zerg to barely hold on to his bases. And it looks like the Firebat Hero is just going to run straight through the Dark Swarm. Actually, there were no more lurkers left there. Only a couple of Zerglings, so Firebat Hero is just going to run through and take down this base. A bit of a blow to Zero there, although he does still have the top left natural, but Firebat Hero has the 3 o'clock now, so it's going to be 4 base against 4 base for a second. Zero seems to have actually preemptively put some lurkers at the bottom right main ramp there. I think that's actually very smart. I mean, even if he doesn't take the base himself, that's going to be quite annoying for Firebat Hero to clear that out if he wants to take that expansion for himself. And, you know, it's certainly possible for Zero to take that base as well. Nidus Canals will just easily connect all his bases so he can reinforce it pretty quickly. But it looks like a lot of Vultures being sent to the bottom right to deal with that. And some more Vultures running in here to the natural as well. Looks like, yep, there's the comp side. The Vultures should be able to clean this up, even though the damage types kind of favor the Lurkers. But yeah. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh my god, was that a stacked Lurker? Whoa! Wait. Did Firebat Hero just mess up and not finish off the lurker, or was that actually more than one lurker stacked on top of each other? Sometimes Zerg players, in order to trick the Terran, will burrow one lurker and then put the other one like right on top of it and burrow again, so that they're burrowed in exactly the same location. So if you scan that, it looks like there's only one lurker there, but you can actually have like as many lurkers as you want in theory. Usually it's only 2 or 3 at most. It actually can be quite funny because, you know, sometimes Zergs, like, you know, if, you know, in the early mid game, they'll, at their 3rd base, they just like, they burrow 3 lurkers on top of each other, and the Terran scans it. He's like, oh, there's only one lurker, I'll just break it. He just runs up the ramp with his medic marine and loses everything. It's amazing. Anyway, looks like we have a drop here at the Terran's 3rd base. There's a lot of spider mines. They could blow up some SCVs, but no, looks like not quite. And one lurker does get down under the Dark Swarm. No, it looks like maybe 2 lurkers. Is that 2 lurkers? I can't quite tell, but it is going to deny not mining from that base. But it doesn't matter. Firebat Hero is taking both of the bottom right 2 bases. And There's a lot of spider mines out on the map. I mean, just look at the mini map. Firebat Hero definitely has, you know, more of a presence. He has the map control, keeping Zero back there and taking advantage of that to expand aggressively. It looks like a lot of SCVs just waiting around for that command center to finish. So I definitely say Firebat Hero has a slight advantage right now. But you know, the supply counts are still, you know, fairly close. Well, considering it's TVZ, of course, Terrans are usually about 20-30 supply ahead at this point. So 160 supply against 130, that seems pretty close to me. And Zergs are also very defensive, because against the spider mines, it's kind of difficult to attack, to run out with just lurkers and lings. You can lose a lot of units just for free to those spider mines. So Zergs, though, do tend to be a little bit more defensive, although doing these kinds of drop plays are very, very smart, I think, for Zero. Obviously, you just kind of completely bypass the spider mines altogether if you use Overlords and drop. But it looks like Firebat here is going for an attack here at the south o'clock. God, the 6 o'clock. Alright, anyways. Looks like a couple of Goliaths checking out this 630 base. And Firebat Hero just playing a really solid long TVZ here against Zero. I am quite impressed by this. I mean, Zero's ZVT is really quite good. But FBH, man, he's doing it, and looks like these two Goliaths also intercepting a drop on the bottom right. I'm actually wondering if that might have been their part of their original purpose. I mean, I said earlier they were just kind of scouting out the base, but that was a very nice interception of the 3 Overlord drop. But it looks like the drop is going to go in anyway. The 3 turrets are not quite done in time for Firebat Hero. He's just going to evacuate the SCVs, send in a group of Medic Marine. Whoa! That is a lot of Scourge there. I don't know if that's intentional, but it looks like it is. Oh my god, great Scourging by Firebat here, or by Zero rather. He gets all but one of the science vessels. Very, very nice move, keeping that vessel count low. Of course, once the vessel count gets, you know, to like 10 or 12, it's just like ridiculously hard for Zerg to deal with. But anyway, it looks like some crack things as well. Gonna go to town on these siege tanks, and Zero looks like he's finally making some headway in the game. He's closing the supply gap. It's only about 15 supply different now, with Firebat Hero still in the lead, but getting very, very close. And Zero looks like he's going to start pushing back the Terran here, even though Firebat Hero did have the advantage going into this late game, I think. Zero, he's now got Ultra Ling Defiler, and he's also adding some Hydras into the mix since he is facing a mech army that is the correct, the quote-unquote correct thing to do. And it's like, wow, dropping some Ultralisks on top of those siege tanks, very, very cool. So yeah, the attack against the 630 base has been completely crushed. And looks like, where's Firebat Hero going to attack next? I mean, wherever he attacks, it's kind of difficult against, you know, Dark Swarm. But let us see. I mean, I'm wondering if perhaps he should just do more Vulture Harass or something. I mean, it's interesting. These late game decision making is all very interesting. Anyways, looks like we have a Venom attack here on the bottom right base. Another Ultralisk being dropped with a nice defense matrix on that leading Marine. And Ultralisk DPS, in fact, isn't amazing. I mean, obviously they still do decent damage, but yeah, I mean, cost-wise, obviously Cracklings are do way more DPS. Anyways, looks like some Hydras coming out now under the Dark Swarm. I'm going to take out some units. Oh, looks like a couple of random Hydras at the bottom right, getting obliterated by those Vultures. Looks like the 2-2 upgrades are now finished for the mech as well. Against the 5-2 Ultralisks, it looks like. And oh, that Irradiate Ultralisk could actually run into the SCV line. That seems a little bit dangerous. Of course, Irradiate does splash friendly units, so it's kind of not a good idea to irradiate Ultras that are near a bunch of SCVs. Anyways, looks like the 530 base has been taken by Zero, so we're kind of going to a really late game, you know, split map TVZ here. Very, very cool stuff. But, you know, I think it's very, very difficult also for the Zerg to play. I mean, especially once a Terran, he gets like his mass factories at his other main. You know, that's the kind of the standard thing to do is Terran starts massing factories at, in this case it would be at the bottom right, and he just starts mass producing siege tanks, and once he gets like a decent number, or kind of like a critical mass I guess, of siege tanks out and all those extra factories, it's just like really difficult, if not impossible, for the Zerg. But a nice lurker drop at the back of the natural there at the bottom right. Zero simultaneously attacking the 12 o'clock. That does get cleaned up, but this lurker is continuing to do damage here. It seems that Firebat Hero does not notice it. Of course, when he has, I mean, with so many bases, so many units to manage, it is very difficult to keep track of these things. So, you know, little harassments like this lurker drop are actually very, very good in the late game. I'm very happy that Zero's done something like this. I mean, a lot of players think, you know, oh, it doesn't matter. It's, you know, it's so late in the game. It's just a couple of SCVs. You know, it's fine. But actually, it's very, very cost efficient to do something like that, considering how much attention has to be spent elsewhere. Anyway, it looks like a couple of Defilers are actually getting intercepted there before they can go with the rest of the attack. But Zero is starting to take down this bottom right base. He's actually starting to make some headway and starting to plague the army as well. Nice play catching a few vultures and 2 siege tanks. Of course, plague super effective against mech just because there's nothing to heal the mech. You know, obviously SCVs can repair, but having mass SCVs repairing your mech army is generally not something that pro gamers do. I guess it's just not very efficient, and it just costs a lot of extra APM and attention for relatively little gain. Anyways, looks like some more units moving in here. I mean, basically, I think the only time you see a mass repair is on, like, you know, low numbers of critical units like science vessels, occasionally Valkyries, for anybody who watched, spoiler alert, Jaedong versus Kanata. We did see Kanata repairing plagued Valkyries. But anyways, looks like Zero continuing to be aggressive with these Lings. He's got to be a little bit careful, though. I mean, if he just sends out 12 Lings at a time, they're not going to be particularly cost-effective. I guess he is going to clear some Spider Mines at the very least. And if you just look at the minimap now, and you just think about what it looks like, oh, wow, we even have a force lift at the bottom right. But yeah, just look at the I mean, not only are these bottom right 2 bases getting denied, but just if you look at the overall minimap, the line of orange that we saw before has been greatly pushed back here. Zero doing a fantastic job. And actually, the supplies are almost identical now. 113, or actually, no, it looks like it's split up now. But just then, for a second, it was like 113 supply for FBH against 110 for Zero. He almost evened out the supplies. He's also looks like he's taken the 9 o'clock base. And looks like more Ultraling Defiler persisting with this strategy. You know, it's funny because even though Ultraling is not the most amazing against, you know, mass siege tanks and spider mines, it's still a pretty good unit comp. And oh, looks like we have an Irradiate on the Defiler and the Ultralisk. That spider mine, I cannot believe, did not blow anything up. And whoa, what is going on here? The 9 o'clock base for Firebat Hero is apparently completely undefended. I'm a little bit baffled by this. He just had like a completely open base there. I don't understand. Meanwhile, Zero continuing to send out you know, pairs of Zerglings to clear spider mines. And it looks like FBH might actually be in a lot of trouble now because his main base and his natural are completely mined out. He just has the 1230 base mining. And the bottom right, I believe, are... Actually, no, it looks like the bottom right main is mining again, but the bottom right natural and the 9 o'clock base are both lifted and not mining. Anyway, it looks like we have a bit of an engagement here with Ultras and Hydras, but there's way too many siege tanks in the back for that to be effective. They are 3-3 now, and Zero still hasn't gotten his +3 melee attack. His Ultra's still at 5-2 upgrades. And oh, looks like we might have some drops on the siege tanks. Indeed, we do. Some Ultralisks and Zerglings being dropped on top of there. It looks like the lurker drop at the back finally getting dealt with. Going to allow FBH to start mining there again. And looks like he has a decent-ish tank line. But Zero's going to attempt to break this with Hydra, Lurker, Ling, Defiler. It could be effective here. The Lurkers forcing the tanks back. And a lot of Lings are flooding in here. I mean, Zero just doing non-stop aggression in this game. This game is ridiculous. Just ever since, like, you know, the 10-minute mark, it's been non-stop attacking. And wow, Zero doing a fantastic job. But I mean, Terran defense though is still pretty stalwart. Although, looks like taking down a couple more siege tanks there, and Lings in the natural there. Lings in the bottom right main as well, I think. And Defiler guy getting sniped. Very, very smart. Look at this, spreading out the Lings a little bit. See that? Manually pulled that one back. Wow. That was quite nice, and it looks like the 530 base was actually killed. I didn't notice when that happened. I guess after Firebat Hero reestablished that tank line guarding the bottom right, he managed to send some units down there and clean that up. But it looks like Zero continuing to attack into the 9 o'clock base, but I'm not sure if this is very cost efficient. There's a lot of spider mines there. He could lose a lot of lurkers. Oh god, is that an irradiated overlord? It looks like it is. And wow, a lot of siege tanks in the back there for Firebat Hero. Firebat Hero just purely defending in this game is slowly but surely pulling it back. I mean, for a second there, it looked like Zero might have actually turned the game around, and it's still anybody's game at this point. I mean, look at this. The bottom right base is still unable to mine. Zero continuing to pressure in the middle of the map, but I just feel like these attacks are getting gradually less and less cost effective. And yeah, it looks like he stopped making Ultralisks entirely. He's just got Mass Ling right now. I mean, I think that's actually better. Ultralisks in this situation are... I think if he does like Ultralisk drops, they can be quite good, but just running them around is very, very dangerous because of all the spider mines and whatnot. Anyway, oh my god, Lurker catching the SCVs as they transfer. That is a 16 kill Lurker. I don't know if that's all SCVs, but either way, that Lurker definitely worth his weight in Vespian gas. Although I don't know if that's saying much. Vespian gas is not very heavy. But anyways, oh, looks like a couple of random lings still blocking that base. And man, Firebat Hero, he must be getting mined out pretty quickly here. I think his 1230 base is gone. He just has the 9 o'clock mining. He just cannot mine from these bottom right 2 bases due to Zero's constant attacks here. And yeah, I just don't know how much longer Firebat Hero can actually sustain this defense. Zero's bases have actually been completely unmolested here for the whole game, and it looks like just as I say that, Firebat Hero finally sends some vultures in there, but oh my god, Zero's actually just moving into the main base now of Firebat Hero. It looks like Firebat Hero is going to get some drone kills. He is going to force the drones off from the 9 o'clock base, but it looks like Zero is actually going to push into the main base here. Firebat Hero finally slowly crumbling after just... Man, Zero, he's just like, you know, the waves in the ocean crashing against the cliff. You know, as strong as the stone is, eventually after thousands of years, it just gets worn away by the water. That is a perfect metaphor for this game, actually. Zero is the wave crashing against the cliff that is Firebat Hero, but it looks like the cliff is finally going to crumble, although nice harassment here at the base. Oh, nice spider mine though. And look at this, a Lurker drop at the bottom right. Once again, units pouring in to Firebat Hero's main. Zero showing an amazing ZVT unless he doesn't borrow those Lurkers. No, it looks like the siege tanks are friendly as well. The siege tanks, look at them, like they were driving by, but the turrets were like facing the Lurkers. So it's like they're just like driving up the ramp and they look over there like, hey, look, aren't those Lurkers? And then the gunner's like, nah, they're not even borrowing. It's fine, don't worry about it. But well, Firebat Hero. Is he actually going to clean up his main? Looks like Firebat Hero has actually managed to clean up his main, so he's not completely dead yet. And actually, if we look at the supply counts, 90 supply against 73. We're going on like, I don't know, 30 minutes into the game, and we're like at sub 100 supplies here. Both players, this like a war of attrition here. Who's going to run out of money first? Oh man, but I mean, Zero, he has more bases overall, though. He should be ahead in the resource count. But, you know, Terran is more cost efficient, I should say. So it's really hard to say. Anyway, looks like we have some more drops on the back siege tanks. Very effective little maneuver right there. But Zero actually seems to be running out of steam. He's just doing these drops, and I can't believe it. Wait a minute. I thought Zero had won the game. Like 2 minutes ago, he was rampaging in the Terran's main base. What just happened? Oh my god, Zero is down to like doing fancy micro tricks with overlords and like a control group of units. I don't understand how this happened, but somehow Firebat Hero looks like he's managed to hold on here, and I think he's mining okay from the bottom right 2 bases again. Zero Zero also might be about to lose his 630 base. He's got like a half control group of Zerglings and Hydras there. And Firebyte Hero is rolling in with a bunch of siege tanks, but no, it looks like there was another drop on the bottom right main that is going to force the SCVs off. I don't know what's going on at the natural there now. Looks like, yes, it looks like the natural there has been forced to lift as well. So that means Firebyte Hero is once again reduced to just the 9 o'clock base, and that base I think is getting close to mined out. It must be getting close to mined out. So Firebyte Hero can't mine, but he is killing Zero's 630 base, but I do see Zero building a hatchery at the 1130 position, the north position there. So if he can get that up, he will still be okay resource-wise, and if he can keep harassing this bottom right base, Firebyte Hero will be strapped for resources. But he still does have the nice... Actually, Firebyte Hero has a nice supply lead now, 101 against 53, almost double the supply of Zero. Can he do some more amazing Defiler plays, some more amazing harassment? He's going to need to. He's just running Zerglings into the minefield now, perhaps hoping for a good mine bomb on the Vultures. I'm not really sure. Either way, running through a minefield is generally not a good idea. And there is the Air Force Ace team looking quite... There's GG Amo. Is it just me, or did GG Amo look like really smug in that shot? He's just like, yeah, FBH got it, and GG from Zero. Huge grin on Firebyte Hero's face. I cannot believe it. Oh, Firebyte Hero, our dancing queen. Oh, FBH. That is the FBH we all know and love. And Zero, he had units in the Terran's main base. But, I mean, Terran is Terran, so what are you gonna do? Wow, Zero. Look, he's like so disappointed he can't even open the door. Oh my god. Don't worry, Zero, you're still a cutie pie. So, I think that is going to conclude that. I'll save Bogus versus Stats for another battle.